there. So, coming to you from Southern California, it's what we consider to be a cold day. It's in the 50s, and we don't have a lot of insulation or heavy clothing here. So 50s in a desert environment, which people don't think of Southern California as the desert, but it really is, and people have just inhabited it and irrigated it. So when it's in the 50s, it's chilly to us. So I'm gonna make a great soup that my husband just loves. It's called chicken avocado lime soup. It looks a lot like tortilla soup for some of those of you who make tortilla soup, but I'm making the healthy version of it. So I've already prepared some of the ingredients that you might need. I've cheated on my chicken. I've bought chicken in the store that's already cooked. It does call for you to cook the chicken in the broth that we're going to be putting it in, and you probably will even get more flavor that way because, you know, you'll get all the flavors of the bone and the broth, and then you'll be stripping the chicken off the bone. But I'm going to go ahead and use some store-bought, already prepared chicken. It tastes just as good to me. I've gotten it shredded. I happen to have some from Trader Joe's that actually is not shredded, but I'll chop it up later. So you need about 1.5 pounds of that. I'm going to take a tablespoon of olive oil, and I'm going to put it in a large pot, and I'm going to already get that warmed up while we're talking, okay? So once you get that going, you want to add to that some green onions, which I've already got, about 1 cup of green onions, and 2 jalapenos, seeded and minced. Now, if you like your soup with a little kick to it, leave the seeds in. These were so powerful. I couldn't believe I've never had to do this before, but I actually had to wear a face mask, and I'll put a picture on here for you, which is kind of funny when I did the seeding because I was actually choking. So thank God for COVID only because we have face masks. There's always a blessing in something, right? So let me get the green onions and jalapenos. I want to start sauteing those. And I wish my camera could reach all the way over here, but since it can't, I'll show you the finished version when I'm done. So I've already pre-chopped those. We've got those. What we're gonna do now is actually saute them in a large pot. So my healthy version calls for just a tablespoon of olive oil. And you want to get those sauteed for just a couple of minutes. You don't want to burn them. And after you've done the sauteing, you're going to be adding your garlic for like about 30 seconds. And basically, I haven't prepared my garlic. So let's do that while those are sauteing real quick. And what I like to do is just take the garlic. Here's a cool way to peel garlic. I don't know if you've seen this trick. But you just take the garlic clove, because I like fresh, and you smash it with the skin on, right? And that'll get it out of the skin. So then all you got to do is chop. So I want to go with 2 of those. And I hear my green onions and jalapeno cooking back here. Oh, that smells good. So get those out of their skin, the garlic, and I like to get the ends off. Toss those. Toss those. And mince this up real quick. There's nothing like fresh. When you're cooking, either for healthy or just, you know, a nice big Thanksgiving meal or holiday meal, there's nothing like fresh for everyday living. So what I'm making is a healthy version because as a health coach, I like to make sure people can enjoy the flavors that are out there. However, we don't want to overdo and mess up all that good weight loss we've already had. So this is definitely going to help you maintain, and if you're in the losing phase, it will help you with that as well. Oh, the aromas. Something about garlic that smells so good when it's cooking in your food, right? And garlic is actually good for you. It's a good for your immune system. Okay, so that's about ready. You can hear that sizzling, right? So, got that going. And then we want to add chicken broth. And this calls for either 4 cans of the chicken broth, or I like to buy 2 of these. So if you get 2 of the 32 ounce, you got about enough broth for your soup, okay? And this is gonna serve 4 people when we're done. I tend to get the low sodium one because we don't like a lot of salt. We have high blood pressure problems here in our home, so we like to keep things as low in sodium as possible. And we add a little salt to our meal, but not a ton. So you be the judge of which one of these you want to get for yourself. So I've got that going. And then what I'm going to do is add a little salt and pepper, cut up some tomatoes, add some cumin. I've got a half teaspoon of cumin. I've got some kosher salt and pepper that I'm going to add. But first, I want to chop up a couple of Roma tomatoes. Here's my Roma tomatoes. They say to seed them. Personally, I can't remember the last time I've seeded a tomato. And if you've got a good trick on how to do it, you let me know. It seems like a lot of work for nothing to me. That's just how I feel about it. So, I'm gonna take my tomatoes and just chop them up. This will be really good. I've made this before, and it really is good to have your fresh ingredients, honestly. Roma tomatoes are Italian tomatoes, and the Italians are, they're so good with their recipes, and I love a good Italian recipe. I had a neighbor who was from New York, and she was Italian, and she would make sauces every week, and just nothing like it. Nothing like it. Loved her. If she's listening, hi, Connie. She made the best eggplant parmesan that I'd ever had. In fact, I don't know if I've ever had it before she made it, but it made me a lover of a good eggplant parmesan. She did an awesome job. But today we're making chicken avocado lime soup. So at the end, what we do with this soup is we add some freshly chopped up avocados, which are a great way to get a healthy fat in your diet. And they've got a little protein in them. And we add some lime juice at the end. So that's partially how we get that in there. Okay, so we've got the chicken broth in there. We're gonna add the tomatoes right now. If I can get them all separate from everything else I've got sitting here. Put my tomatoes in. You might have noticed something green on this cutting board. That's my cilantro, which I'm also going to add at the end. Okay, so we've got that started. Add my half teaspoon of cumin. And salt and pepper to taste. This is cracked pepper, already cracked. I'm lazy. And then at the end, if you think you need more, you can always add more. Stir that up. And it's really pretty. I don't know if you can see that. Whoops. But it's really pretty. So turn that up and bring that to a boil, basically. Okay. So once I get that to a boil, well, actually before then, if you're making your soup fresh with uncooked chicken breasts, you'll want to add them right away because then they'll be cooking the whole time you're making your soup. I'm actually going to add mine as well, even though it's already made. I'm gonna break it up a bit because the last time I made this, I had some shredded chicken, which was in the grocery store ready for making tacos. Tacos are huge, so right? So the stores have gotten really smart. They sell the whole taco kit ready to go. And it's more of a fresh taco, not like the ones, you ever grew up with those tacos that comes in a box, you know? That's how I thought tacos were made. But living out here in Southern California where there are more people who are indigenous to the area or who have come up from the area to the area, they really know how to make tacos. So the kits that you find in the stores here actually have shredded chicken already cooked. It has the, they'll have the fresh ingredients sitting out there, the tomatoes, everything except for, you know, the shells. And you can, and actually the shells we used to eat were the corn shells. These are flour tortilla shells, which I'm not a fan of because I grew up the other way, but you can always have it without a shell if you're trying to lose weight or if you're trying to stick to and keep your weight the way it was. I'm gonna take this cilantro and move it off to the side. It's getting in my way. So once you bring your broth, tomatoes, cumin, salt and pepper to a high heat, you wanna heat those up. And then once it comes to a boil, you wanna put it on a medium heating and let it cook for 10 to 15 minutes or until the chicken's cooked all the way through. That's what they recommend. Then once the chicken's cooked all the way through, you want to reduce it. They're saying if you're working with fresh chicken, then you're going to want to take the chicken out of the mixture because at that point, you're going to want to strip it off the bone because you're working with chicken breasts. 2 whole chicken breasts is what they recommend. And you want to chop it up and get it in a nice form so that when it's in the soup, you can have a little chicken in every bite, right? So once you do that, your soup is going to be ready. You throw it back in, let it cook a little bit longer, and you have it on warm, and then it's ready to go. You can add your cilantro, your lime juice, and let the flavors kind of meld for you. After you've done that, let's see if I got a boil going here. Not yet. After you're done doing that, then you want to add to the final mixture your avocado. And that is excellent. They suggest you can also add a little cheese to it and maybe sour cream if that's your pleasure. I'm not a big sour cream person, but I know a lot of people feel like they haven't had their chicken avocado lime soup or tortilla soup or whatever you want to call it until they've got that cheese and sour cream. I like the cheese. My daughter, Melanie, is a sour cream person. She loves sour cream. So that's pretty much how it goes. And I'll have a picture for you of the finished product. I serve it either with cornbread for people who are eating bread. You can serve it with tortilla chips. Or if you're me, you just kind of don't need anything extra with it. You just have the actual soup and enjoy. And it's a great soup for a cold day. It's even better the next day if it sits overnight. Look at this chicken. It's coming out great. This may seem like a lot of work to you, but honest to Pete, this is nothing compared, for me, compared to stripping a piece of hot chicken off the bone. I'd rather do it this way. I'm ambitiously lazy, but I try to make life, because otherwise I'm not I'm a good cook. I don't like to cook that much. So if it's got to be done, I got to figure out a way to do it. And this, by the way, is about 1.5 pounds of chicken. But I got to figure out a way to do it that I'm going to want to do it. It's so easy for us today to go out to the restaurants or order in. And honestly, you don't really know all the ingredients you're getting. Tend to be that there's a lot of sodium or sugars added extra to foods that are prepared by others that are serving them, because that's why we love it, right? That's where the taste comes in. So now I'm going to add this, and I'm about to get a boil on my broth. Add my chicken. Oops, losing some of it here. Don't want to lose any chicken that I don't have to. Oh, but I lost a little bit. My dog will get it. I guarantee you my dog will get it. So, see if I can bring this a little closer so that you can actually see a little bit better into the pot. So now it's starting to boil, so I honestly want to turn this down a little bit and let it simmer for a little while. And that is going to be awesome. I want to show you the mixture. Doesn't that look good? It is good, trust me. So we'll let that cook for a little while. And once it's done, we'll be able to add the cilantro and the lime juice. So I have some fresh limes here. I have my cilantro. I'm going to cut the limes up while that's simmering a bit. Put the lid on. I'm going to cover it too. Where is my lid? Here it is. So we're going to let that simmer for just a few minutes while we're cooking. Woo, excuse me. So we will get the lime going. Here it is. I have a limer, or I don't know what these are called. I've had this forever. But it's just so you don't have to squeeze the lime out. You just kind of squeeze it on a glass citrus or juicer. This is the old juicers back in the day. So you need about 3 tablespoons of lime juice. Add it, and I found that it's about 3 limes. How's that work, huh? There's nothing like the smell of lime. Oh, it smells so good. Adds a lot to the meal. And this is where you get your chicken avocado lime from. I got a little bit of it in there. Get that out of there. So I am going to put this. This one doesn't want to cooperate. And each lime kind of fills this baby up. So I'm going to take each one and put them in my measuring cup so that when I'm ready to add it, we're all good. All right.